What's up, Wall fans, Common Sensors, social media world podcast consumers? It's Thursday night. You know what that means? SHIT. So happy it's Thursday because it is Go Tell It to the Wall podcast night. That's right. We're going live with the entirety of episode 84 tonight, and I got some awesome stuff for you. We have, for some reason, tech this week ended up being like the death of a bunch of things. Death, that's much more morbid than I mean it to sound, but the end of some platforms, some other things, and everything else. So there's going to be a lot of doom and gloom, for lack of a better word, but probably things that most of you don't. You're going to be like, oh, I used that a few years ago for a minute, and now it's going away. So we're going to get into some of that doom and gloom tech stuff. We've got some interesting social trends to talk about this week, specifically something that was going on yesterday. It's a specific day they do every year. Started in Canada. We're going to talk about that and a couple other things. We've also got our usual TV, film, and books, and we've got some super exciting music news that you might not be aware of if you follow some of the bands that I do, some of the bands that we talk about here on Go Tell It to the Wall podcast. You might be familiar with it. But if you're not, I've got some awesome, exciting news for you regarding one of my personal favorite musicians just out there in the world right now. And so we're going to get into a bunch of that. And we've also got a little bit of sports this week. Don't fear those of you that don't enjoy the sports section. We are going to get into some fun stuff with it. It is Super Bowl week. Super Bowl, the big game coming up this Sunday. Fortunately, I can say Super Bowl like crazy. No one's going to send, the NFL's not going to send me a cease and desist because I'm not making any money off actually saying it. But it is Super Bowl week. We're going to talk about a couple things. We got a feel-good story and also a couple of Super Bowl stories that really are just, even if you're not into sports at all, you're going to be into this kind of stuff because it's really, putting in the sports section is just my way of putting it somewhere in there. And we've also got more Fyre Fest news. The gift that keeps on giving. I knew when this first happened like a year ago that it was going to be a continual thing, and it keeps on going thanks to Hulu and Netflix, and now the ongoing bankruptcy court case that's going on. So we're going to get into a little bit of that as well. So get comfortable. If you're in Southern California, it's probably real gray and gloomy outside and dark, of course. But we've had a little bit of rain here in Los Angeles. Grab yourself a nice, tasty brew. Get comfortable, snuggle up under a blanket, and get ready for episode 84 of Go Tell It to the Wall podcast. I'll be back in 5 minutes with the entirety of episode 84. Don't go anywhere, Wall fans.